Many Malaysians are showing their support for the heartbroken relatives. CCTV's Barnaby joins us now live from Kuala Lumpur with that angle of the story. Barnaby?
Well, Mike, there's also been a lot of criticism over here over the handling of the situation by the Malaysian government, especially on social media. But there's more support coming from the Malaysian public from day one. People here have been putting up so-called walls of hope, praying for the safe return of the passengers and crew of Flight 370. But now they're praying for the families of these passengers and crew that they may have the strength to be able to get through this very difficult time.
God is my shepherd.
United in grief, Malaysians of all colors and religions took part in this memorial for the passengers and crew of Malaysia Airlines Flight 370, a day after Prime Minister Najib Razak revealed that satellite data had confirmed that the flight had ended in the southern Indian Ocean and was lost with none of those on board surviving.
We feel that and many churches around the country, I'm sure, are keeping vigil and encouraging people to just pray, for that's all we can do.
Malaysians woke up to these headlines. Front pages all in black, the color of mourning in this country. One of the last words uttered from the plane. And here, 239 names, all people on board that flight.
Flags in the country's capital, however, are still waving at full staff. Najib had proposed to fly them at half staff as a tribute to those who were on Flight 370, but only if and when there is any physical evidence of the aircraft.
They've certainly committed to keep on looking for the wreckage, and I think we all expect them to put every effort in trying to find as much of the plane as possible and finding the evidence in the black box, so to speak.
Malaysians, as well as people from all over the world, have held out hope for as long as they could, providing families of the missing passengers moral support through their words. But with the government now saying with near certainty that everyone on board died, that hope has turned into grief.
Now, Malaysians are not only sad for the families of the passengers and crew on board Flight 370, but they're also sad for their country. It's been an incredibly difficult time for this country, very challenging for the government. This is an unprecedented problem that requires unprecedented solutions. They do not want the world to know about this country, learn about this country this way, but this has been what's happening in the past few weeks. Mike?
Barnaby, you mentioned earlier that there's been criticism there in Malaysia as well. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Well, Mike, the criticism here really hasn't been as strong as the criticism that we have been seeing from Beijing. But yes, there has been some criticism here. And the questions are basically the same. Where is the plane right now? Where are these people on board Flight 370? What really happened? And how did this government come to a conclusion that it had ended up in the Indian Ocean? Did the government, or would the government have been able to do something to prevent this incident here? So the questions are basically the same, but there's also a certain level of understanding about how difficult this is for the government to solve, really. And so they're just united here right now in trying to support the families here in this very, very difficult time. Mike?
Barnaby live for us in Kuala Lumpur. Thank you.